Hi everybody, and thanks for watching this video. I thought that we'd take a minute and kind of catch up on a few things and where we are as a parish, where we are as a community right now, and talk about some certain things about what's happening now and what's going to be happening in the future. Over these last few weeks, each of us have learned a couple of new words that have gone into our phrases, really, I guess, that gone into our vocabulary. Right? Social distancing being one of them, and then safer at home. Well, those phrases have really started to change how we deal with one another in our parish and in our world, our community at large. And but they're important, right? They're important for us to try to keep each other safe and to protect the most vulnerable in our community. So we need to really do what we can to follow the instructions of our civil leaders who are asking us to keep that distance apart from one another and to stay at home when it's all possible unless we're doing something that's really essential. But as we all see, right, we see on TV, we see on social media or whatever, that there are some people who are just not getting the message. Let me give you an example, a case in point. The other day I was in the rectory, and the doorbell rings, and I go out to answer it, and it's a delivery truck, and the delivery driver is actually from a beer vendor. And I'm like, well, what are you doing here? What are you looking for? And he pulls out his invoice and he goes, well, I'm looking for somebody named Kumud. And I'm like, oh, you mean Kamud? Like, yeah, I've got a barrel of spotted cow for him. I'm like, barrel of spotted cow for Kamud? What? So I get on my phone. I'm starting to get a little angry now. Get on my phone and I call him up and I say, get up here. Some beer delivery guy has got a keg of beer for you. So you got to explain to me what's going on here. So all of a sudden, he runs up. And as he, gets up there and he's explaining what's going on, he goes, Father, I've been hearing what you're saying, that we need to continue to build a community. And even though that, we're not allowed to have more than, 9 people in church, I thought that what we do is we would just have a party out in the parking lot. And, that must be okay, right? We're out there in the wide open space and stuff. And I'm like, no, you're not getting it, right? Because even if you're doing that, you'd still have to try to keep everybody 6 feet apart from one another. So what are you going to do? Try to station them all over the place in a parking lot, keeping that 6 foot distance? And I go, and the other thing about that is, it's really kind of going against what the governor's asking, that we can't have more than 9 in a given spot. It's all about this being safer at home. You got to stay home. And so I sent the beer delivery driver away, and then all of a sudden, now Kamud's all angry with me because I didn't let him throw a kegger. But we understand, right, how important it is to not do these kind of outside things. He's looking at me like, what's a kegger? He doesn't know. By the way, none of that story is true. But it is important because we do see people who are doing the stupid thing, right? Just obey the civil orders for right now. But what's important about that, right, is those 2 orders, the social distancing and the safer at home stuff, are making it so that we can't get together here as a parish family in church, right? So it's defining for us now a new thing, right? Where we're having private masses. Masses are still taking place. They're not canceled. They're just not available to the public. And it's leading to basically empty churches. But I do want to point out that the churches are open, during the day, and you're more than welcome still to come in and pray, to take some time to be with God. And we're trying to do some other things, like having adoration periods and still hearing confessions and whatnot. So opportunity still for you to come in and visit your parish church, okay? Because it's really important to try to stay as connected as we can. And taking that time, in those open hours just to come in and pray for a little bit. But it is leading up to Holy Week now. We're coming up on Palm Sunday, the start of Holy Week. And it's going to lead to a very strange Holy Week. we're in a very weird place here where we're going to be doing private masses, and there's only going to be a very small number of people who are supporting me in the mass as we do them. And it's going to feel extraordinarily strange, right? These are built to be celebrations of acknowledging what God has done for us, right? And we're walking these final steps with Jesus as he institutes the Eucharist and the priestly order, as he walks his way to Calvary and dies upon the cross in the glory of his resurrection that we celebrate at the Easter Vigil and on Easter Sunday. All of those things are going to be so different, not having that church full of people. But life is still going to go on. And so I've had to pick up yet another new word in my vocabulary now, which is live streaming. And it's a word that seems to be coming out of my mouth all the time now, because everything that we're doing, we're going to be trying to make available to you in a virtual way by your being able to participate via the live stream masses and liturgies. So I encourage you, starting with Palm Sunday, which will be, we're going to celebrate at the 4 p.m. Mass, which will be available live at that point, but available to you anytime at all from that point on. Invite you to watch the live stream or the recorded version, that's fine, and celebrate the Mass with us. Try to participate. We posted some resources on Facebook that will help you to try to make it a more prayerful experience at home. And I really strongly encourage you to try to do that. Try to still make Sunday and these high holy days part of your life in whatever way that you can, but make it seem as real as in this weird time as it can be. Okay, I truly encourage you to try to make the days still holy. So we are celebrating Palm Sunday, and we are going to bless the palms. And so a natural question would be, well, what do I do with, how do I get the palms? Well, as soon as the Palm Sunday Mass is over at 4 p.m., we're going to take the table that we bless the palms at St. Olaf, and we're going to put them out in the drive, right? So you can go out there and grab a palm, just drive through, and I'll keep it out there till Sunday evening. So just drive on through. You can open up the car window and do it. Or after that, though, they're going to go into the narthex, and then you could just stop, park, go into the church in the narthex and get there. St. Joseph, we're just going to put them inside. St. Joseph's hours, of the church being open are from 8 in the morning to 6 p.m. every day. And so invite you at any point during there. And again, I'll try to be out there probably, 5:15-ish or something. So there'll be a little bit of time before the church is locked, even on Saturday night. But come Sunday morning, you want to pop in, pick up a palm, more than welcome to do so. But we are going to do something to try to make it, because normally as part of Palm Sunday, there's a procession. And, we grab our palms, we bless, and we walk, from the parish hall over to church, or that we do it, within the church at the later masses. There's the idea of procession, and we want to try to do something to keep that notion intact. So here's what I want you to do. I got this idea kind of from somebody, and I'm kind of taking it in a different direction a little bit. What I want you to do is to find either a space in your house or on, let's say, the outer door, and green it in some way or another, including your palms, okay? You're going to build your own kind of virtual palm procession, because what I'm going to ask you to do next is, after you build that little space, to take a picture of it and to share it, post it on your own Facebook page, but doing a check-in with your parish church, whether that's St. Olaf or that's St. Joseph, East Bristol. Do a check-in with that, and we're going to build our own kind of virtual palm procession by using Facebook and kind of using those tags as a way to kind of connect us together. And we'll see what everybody has done, how they've built their space, to kind of celebrate Palm Sunday, okay? So don't be a loser. Get your palms and do this, okay? Or I'm going to send Camus to your house, one or the other, all right? One of the things that's going to happen this week, I wrote it. Actually, that's it right there. A letter to each of you. This one's not yours. You're getting your own. Okay? That one was mine. So it's going to be coming to your house this week. You know, probably it's going to go out in the mail probably Monday night. So Wednesday, Thursday-ish, you should be getting it. Encourage you, please, 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 to read it. There's a lot of information in there about how we're going to try to stay connected to you and a bunch of other things. Okay? Please read the letter. One of the things that we've done is we moved our Stations of the Cross actually outside. We took them off the walls inside the church and moved them out into the parking lot. So what I want you to do is when you have an opportunity, you don't even have to get out of your car. We've got a sign there that tells you to go to www.stolafchurch.org and where you can get to the audio that goes along with the stations. We recorded that today. It's out there already. Come and drive through the station. Just follow the contour of the parking lot. Come in off Jefferson Street, go up around, towards the high school, come back down and go out Cleveland Street on your way out. Don't even have to get out of the car. Can't make this any simpler, but it's still a good way that during this Holy Week to participate in walking with the Lord on the way to Calvary. So if you have an opportunity at all, we're not violating any social distancing or any of that kind of stuff by doing this. You're staying in your car, driving through, okay? One other thing. Brother Kamud is going to be still ordained on April 15th. Even though I really warned the bishop against this, he ignored me, as he usually does, which is smart on his part, and is going to ordain him anyway. The unfortunate part, I know a great number of you, and I've been pushing it before all of this happened, that I'd like you to go to that. It'd be a great opportunity for you to see it. But unfortunately, it's going to get down to where there's going to be 9 people or less. It's the only way that we could do it. And there's one other gentleman who's going to be with him, Michael Wanta, who'll be ordained a deacon at the same time. So there's really like no room for guests. And in fact, I'm doing a whole bunch of junk I'd never do before. It's going to be kind of interesting. I'm going to be running around like a chicken with my head cut off at this thing, but it's going to be cool. It's going to push me a little bit, which is going to be great. I'm doing everything but laying, well, I guess I get to lay hands on, but I don't get to actually ordain him. That would be funny if that were true. So a couple other things, and we're just about done here. The bulletin, we're not printing it anymore, but it still is on the website, right? So go to news and events, check out the bulletin. It's being, published every week. And the website is important. It's your way of going and reaching out and being able to get the information. So use that and Facebook, the Facebook pages. That's how we're primarily staying in touch. But there's some other things that we're going to be doing. The letter will explain more of that. And one big thanks I wanted to make to everybody was to my staff. Even though they're kind of working from home right now, they're still doing a lot of things, trying to keep this running in this weird state. So I thank them for their flexibility and their willingness to kind of work our way through this chaos. It's not been easy. It's making us work in a whole different way. But my thanks to them for their support. So I'm looking forward to the day that we all get back together here, get back to some sort of sense of whatever this new normal will be on the backside of this thing. A priest without his people is not much of a priest, to be really honest about it. We need you guys back, and we look forward to that day when that happens. So, but in the meantime, ask you to stay connected with us through social media, through phone, through whatever, and to stay in contact with one another. Don't let people get isolated from one another, especially if you have any elderly in your family or whatever. Check in with them, right? It's important to still maintain some connection, even in the midst of all this nuttiness that we're going through right now. But above all things, pray for one another, and especially for the people who are impacted by this horrible virus, right? We, unfortunately, are probably going to get a lot more personal on this soon. with people we know who are impacted, and it's unfortunately probably not going to get better before it gets a little worse. So pray for one another and make good use of this time. Take some time in prayer, develop your spiritual life, spend more time with your family doing activities. All of these things that hopefully we can carry through when we get on the other side of this whole mess. So I guess that's it. That's enough. I want to thank you for all that you're doing and all your concern that everyone has shown for me and for Brother Kamud, who I have to pick on mercifully because I got nobody else. So but stay connected, stay prayerful, stay connected to God, and we hopefully will see you in person soon. May God bless you all.